Should I do the intro? Should I do the intro, Johnny?
Hit the intro, bro.
Car Talks with Nathan.
You know what's crazy? I think by the time we put these out, intro's gonna change.
Intro's gonna change, but I'm still doing the intro because I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Car Talks with Nathan. First we talk about the car, and then we talk about success. Today we're in the Shelby GT500. This is probably one of my favorite cars. I'm not even gonna lie. I actually have two of these. I have a GT500 and I have a GT350R. They're very different. Everyone roasts me for having two Mustangs. Do you think I have a problem, Johnny?
Yeah, you have a problem there.
Actually?
Yes, dude.
No, they're totally different. See, this is a supercharged engine with an automatic transmission, and as you can see, and then the Shelby GT350R is a manual transmission with a flat plane V8, no superchargers, no turbos, just straight in a motor. They serve different purposes. The GT500 is also, in my opinion, way more comfy because I have the comfortable seats with the AC. And then the GT350 has the race seats. So it's more like the track car, you know? But for my car people, that's what we're in today. Probably one of my favorite cars. My next Ford product on the list is a Ford GT, but not a new one. I don't like the new ones. I think they're ugly. They're not ugly, but I hate the engine. I hate the V6. I hate the EcoBoost. I want the old Whipple supercharged 2005 Ford GT manual. That's what I want. So that's on the list next. I want an all black one, black stripes, just sinister Batman vibes. That's not the car that I'm getting next, but that is, like, if I buy another Ford, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be my next Ford. But yeah, Johnny's got 3 questions for me, so hit me up. They could be about success, business, YouTube advice, whatever it is, and I'm here to give y'all some valuable advice.
Today's episode is gonna be a little bit different. So the title of this video is, or along the lines, YouTube millionaire answers hard-hitting questions.
Ooh!
Do you have like a little guess of what the questions could be about?
No, Johnny, I don't have a guess because you don't tell me what the questions are.
They're gonna be about you being a millionaire and how you think and how millionaires think in general. First question, what do millionaires say no to more often than most people?
I think they're very limited with their time because as a millionaire, if you know how to make $1 million, money is not your scarce resource, time is. You're always fighting against time and you never get more time. You can always get more money, but you can't get more time. You can't get more health. So you're always fighting against that. Whether you're fighting against time with your friends, your family, your business, whatever it is, you're always fighting time. We can't get more of it, it's impossible. But a millionaire has to sacrifice time in order to get certain things that he or she wants. If I want to build a really successful business that pumps out millions of dollars in revenue, I might have to sacrifice my time with my friends in order to get that. I might have to spend less time with my friends and not go out every single Friday night partying with my friends in order to put in more work for my business. So time would be the first thing. The second thing I think is they're very selective with the people that they surround themselves with because they know that their environment is going to dictate their future. If I surround myself with 5 lazy people, I'm gonna become the 6th lazy person. If I surround myself with 5 millionaires, I'm gonna become the next millionaire in the group. That's just how it works. It's not rocket science. Success is not rocket science. You just have to surround yourself with the right people. You have to sacrifice some things and give up some things in order to get something else. And you gotta work really freaking hard. That's the other thing, is that successful people, millionaires, whatever you wanna call them, they're gonna work insanely hard. They're gonna look at a normal person working a 9-to-5 job, and they're gonna laugh at a 9-to-5 job. And they're gonna be like, 9 to 5? Ha! That's funny, because they're gonna put in way more hours than that. I'm just being honest. If you wanna make a lot of money, you're gonna have to just put in more hours. You're gonna have to work hard. There's no getting around it. There's no AI software that can help you or hack your life or do none of that. You're gonna have to put in work, period. It's no different than becoming a professional NFL player, a professional baseball player. These guys work so incredibly hard to become professional at the sport that they play, and you have to become a professional at business, a professional at YouTube, a professional at lawn care, whatever your business is, right? And that just takes time. It takes a lot of hours, a lot of work, but it's so worth it, right? Because you end up solving these big problems and getting paid for it. And you also get to employ people, help them grow their families, their wealth, and their dreams and goals. So it's all worth it in the end. But those would be the main things, I think. You know, I could go more into the specific details, but I think those would be the biggest factors. At least those are the things that impacted me the most when I look back at my my journey.
This is the one I wanted to ask you. Because I don't think a lot of people know this side of you, which is basically a personal question. Between YouTube money, business ventures, or businesses that you have in general, how do you balance saving, investing, and spending within the whole cycle?
That's a good question. Most of my money goes back into the business. We invest a lot of our money into our team, our videos, our products, everything that we do. I can't give you a number, but I can give you a percentage. I would say probably like, it fluctuates every year, but I would say it's in the range of like 70, this is rough ballpark by the way, because every year it's different. But I would say it's in the range of around anywhere from 60 to 80% of all of the money we make is reinvested back into our team, our products, our videos, whatever it is. And then the other percentage goes into, you know, investing. It would go into buying this car, whatever. But no, I think it's really, really important to invest into your business, of course. But you also don't want to just throw money away. I have times sometimes, and I know this is like a weird thing to say, but there's some months, like sometimes the business will make so much money that I actually don't know where to spend it, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to spend it on pointless things. Like I don't want to just hire 3 people if we don't need to hire 3 people, you know what I mean? Or I don't want to spend $100,000 on this video if I don't have to spend $100,000 on this video and I could spend 50 or 20. I think there's a lot of factors that come into play. Every person's business is different. Every person's YouTube channel is different. Everything's different for everyone. But that's kind of what it comes down to. I think that's kind of how I look at it. And like I said, those numbers fluctuate every single year, because some year we might sell a big property, some year we might license a ton of content, some year we might sign a couple big deals. So we get a huge inflow of money, and then we'll figure out where to allocate it, where to put it. Maybe we'll buy a real estate property. That's the one thing I don't talk about. We have a lot of real estate.
Yeah, you don't talk
I
about
never
that
talk about that.
Yeah.
We have some real estate, dude. I have been getting into real estate. We have like 30 something tenants right now. I don't really ever talk about that just because I don't really need to. And to be frank, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, bro. I really don't. I've lost a lot of money in real estate, so that's why I don't talk about it. But I've made a lot of money too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the good thing
I've
is
lost
that
a lot, I made a lot.
You're throwing yourself out there. You're learning as you're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to like find new places to put money other than YouTube. You know, so I've always been fascinated by real estate. I've always wanted to own property. So I'm trying to figure out like, and the thing is I'm taking mentorship calls with big real estate guys. I'm paying thousands and thousands of dollars to get in calls with real estate guys. So even me being 13 years and being so successful that I am, I don't know anything about real estate. I know a lot about YouTube. So I'm a big believer that if you don't know something about something, you should go pay to learn from someone, because it can literally save you years of time. And that's exactly, shameless plug, that's why I built Blueprint University, to save people possibly 10 years of knowledge just by signing up for Blueprint and then learning everything I know about YouTube. If I literally had all of my knowledge from Blueprint and I actually applied the information from day one, I would probably be past 100 million subs by now, like easily. I probably would have hit 1 million subs in probably under 2 years, when in reality it took me 5 to 6 years. That's how much you can expedite things with knowledge. I mean, think about it. When you're running a business or starting a YouTube channel, you're driving down a road with no GPS. You don't know what turn to take. You don't know where the success is. You're like, should I go that way, this way? I don't know. Hopefully that answers your question. I know I went a little off track there, but hopefully that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense, dude.
I will say, I'm a big believer in taking profit. You got some guys out there like Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast is a freaking genius, by the way. I'm not saying he's not a genius, but that dude reinvests every single penny into his YouTube channel, which that's his purpose. At the end of the day, I want some money. I'm just being honest. I work so freaking hard. I want some money to spend. I want to buy a GT 500 at the end of the week when I work hard. So I always make room for some profit. That, and I think profit is actually very healthy for a company. I think the more profit you have, some people call it EBITDA, if you've ever heard of that. The more EBITDA, the more profit a company has, usually shows the healthier a company is, because it can sustain its growth and make this much profit with having this many people or spending this much money. You know what I mean? That's the same way they value real estate. Real estate is not valued by how big the building is or how fancy it is. None of that matters. Well, it does a little bit, but it matters by who's paying the rent and how much are they paying. That's how they value real estate. Some of these gas stations, bro, like that gas station right there, that Shell, I don't know if you can see it. That Shell, I don't know how Shell works, but like I've done a lot of research into gas stations, and bro, gas stations with a 15 to 20 year lease will sell for almost like, in a good location, they'll sell anywhere from $7 to $10 million. But that's not because the gas station is expensive. That's because the tenant has a 20 to 30 year lease and they're paying $400,000 a year to rent this gas station for 20 years. So do the math on that. That's where the value comes from. That's how you know if a company's good or not good. I mean, that's the same thing. A lot of stock investors look for that when they invest in stocks. When they look at the cash flow projections of companies to figure out what stocks they want to invest in, they look at the profit, the cash flow. They don't always look at how much money they're making. They're looking at the cash flow because that shows the health of the company.
Ready for question 3?
Hit me.
Now, you said sometimes you do lose a lot of money. What's your relationship with failure? And how do you bounce back quickly after you take an L?
Depends on how fat the L is, bro. There's still some L's I have not bounced back from that happened years ago. So it depends on how much that L crushes you. Every L is different. Every failure is different in a different way. You might have some failures that are emotionally failures. Like, let's say you work 300 hours producing this video and it gets no views. That might be an emotional failure. Or you invest into a property and it tanks in value. That might be a financial failure and an emotional failure. You got both. So I've experienced all types of failures and they all hurt, obviously, but I know that, you know, with my experience and everything that I've done, and I know that that failure is, the lessons that come from that failure tends to be more powerful than the failure itself. And if you think of it that way, then you can extract a lot of value out of that failure. And sometimes that value is worth monetarily more than the failure. Everyone is different. I mean, we've had some big failures. Like in the past, we started a YouTube team and then the YouTube team ended up falling apart, but that was for a bunch of different reasons, a bunch of different failures. It wasn't just like one thing. So sometimes you have things that fall apart and then you dissect it a couple months later and you're like, it's not just one failure. There's like 8 lessons that I can take out of this. And you take all those lessons and you learn from them and you don't do it again, or you adjust next time you try and do it. And that's just life. I mean, look, if you're gonna let a failure crush you, I'm just being honest, you ain't making it nowhere in life. I'm just being completely honest. Like if you're starting a YouTube channel, a business, whatever, the amount of failures that you're gonna go through getting to whatever goal you want to hit, I want you to take the amount of failures that you think is gonna happen and multiply it times 5, maybe even times 10. Because as humans, I think we are very bad at predicting whatever future is going to happen. I think we're very bad at understanding how hard things really are. Like when I started YouTube, I don't know why, but I thought it was gonna be easy. I was like, yeah, I got this. Like, you know, pump out a couple hundred videos, we'll be chilling, you know, and it's not easy, bro. And the crazy thing is I don't even understand, because like having 10 million subscribers, doing YouTube for 13 years, you would think that I would know everything and things would get easier as time goes on. Oh, surely year 7 is easier than year 4. Bro, the opposite happened. It got harder. Year 1 was actually the easiest. When I had 0 subscribers and no one was watching my stuff, that was actually the easiest. Because it was just mental. It was just a mental game of like, I just gotta keep pushing through and I'll figure out how to make a good thumbnail one day. But then as you go through all these different cycles, the problems evolve into so many different things. I'm dealing with problems. I'm dealing with thumbnail problems. I'm dealing with editing problems. I'm dealing with filming problems. I'm dealing with idea problems. I'm dealing with scripting problems. I'm dealing with all these problems. But within each problem, it goes deeper, because within the editing problem, I'll give you some examples. We're having problems syncing footage with time codes. We're having problems transferring footage to editing teams, footage getting lost, delays on footage. We're having problems with footage notes properly being synced. We're having problems with splitting footage between multiple people to give people more time to edit in order to hit deadlines. We're also having problems with some other stuff I can't talk about legally, but it's about editing. Just like YouTube stuff. We're also having other problems with just editors, storyboarding, and like the way we design certain videos. And I could keep going. Like there's way more. But bro, none of those problems existed when I started. When I started, it was just like, all right, here's my video. I'm just gonna cut it up. I'm gonna throw some music on it. I'm gonna make a cool intro. That's it. And now it's like, bro, everything just grows. I don't say that to freak you out, because they're good problems to have, is what I'm saying. There's more problems, they're more stressful problems, but they're good problems to have. I would much rather have these problems that I have today than the problems that I had in the past when I had 0 subscribers. Trust me. But at the same time, you have to understand that when you first start a YouTube channel, a business, whatever it is, it doesn't get easier the more you grow. A lot of people think it gets easier. They think, oh, if I had 1 million subscribers, then YouTube would be easy. Bro, that's the opposite. That doesn't make any sense. Because now you got to keep those million people entertained, because you're going to lose them all if you don't. So now it's even more difficult, and there's more pressure on you, and it's more difficult. Now, if you're a good creator, you'll know how to do that, and it won't be as stressful. It's harder. It's a different type of hard. You ever heard that saying, like, people say, like, more money, more problems?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Like, I don't think that's true at all. More money does not mean more problems. I think more money amplifies your problems and makes them bigger. And that's what I believe. And I believe the same thing with business or YouTube. So whatever problems you're having when you're not successful, when you get successful, they're gonna be the same problems. They're just gonna be amplified. They're gonna be bigger. They're gonna be more important. They're gonna be problems that could crush you. Whereas in the past, they couldn't crush you. So that's the way I look at it. But the reason I say that is because a lot of people look at all these failures down the road that they might run into, but they don't realize that in reality, the journey just gets harder. The further you climb up the mountain, hey, the beginning of the mountain, when you first walk up to it, is the easiest part. Now, of course, getting started is hard, but walking up the first couple, like think about if you're climbing a mountain. What's gonna be the hardest? Is it gonna be right when you start and you have the most amount of energy? Is it gonna be halfway up, or is it gonna be at the very end right before you get to the top? Just think about that. That's the journey of success. Building a successful YouTube channel, whatever you wanna call it. That's what it feels like. So when you first start a YouTube channel, you're first climbing up that mountain. The first couple years, you have a lot of momentum, you got a lot of motivation, whatever it is, and then you get halfway up that mountain, you're like, damn, this is way harder than I thought. And when you're halfway up the mountain, you might already have 100,000 subscribers. But you're thinking to yourself, dang, this is harder than I thought. And I have 100,000 subscribers. And then you just keep going. You just can't turn around and go back down the mountain. All right, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe. Let us know comments in the comment section below, and we'll answer your question next episode.